Hello and welcome. I have my top 10 St. Patrick's Day wreath tutorials for you today. This video should give you plenty of ideas to create that perfect St. Patrick's Day wreath. In the creation of these wreaths, I use several different techniques and materials. Let me show you how to make them. To get started, you're going to need a 14-inch wreath form from Dollar Tree, some pipe cleaners cut in half. You'll need dark green mesh tubing, light green, gold, and white. You will need 3 packages of each color for a total of 12 packages. Each package is 12 yards, which is 36 inches. I've unwrapped all of my mesh tubing. You're also going to need a yardstick or something to measure with. Bring all of your ends together. And then you want to loosely pull out and measure to 28 inches. You don't want to pull tight because the mesh tubing will stretch and then all of your pieces won't be the same length. Cut. And then we're going to make our little bundles. Now I place my pipe cleaner between these 2 fingers and my mesh tubing over. I pinch the ends. Then you're going to want to fold it over, grab it in the center, and make like a little bow. You're going to do this twice. And then bring down the ends. Now if you have an end that's really long, you can just kind of pull it back through into your grouping, or you can trim it, whichever. Then you take the bottom piece of the pipe cleaner and you bring it back up so it meets the other piece, like that. And then I bring my thumb around and fold it down. You want to make sure that you're getting that pipe cleaner into the center. So when you fold it down, they should relatively be the same length. Pinch and give it a good twist. Okay, and that's what your bundles will look like. Now, if you don't like your ends, if they feel too long, just go in and kind of pull them down back into the little bundle there. Sometimes it takes a little bit to figure out which one you have to pull, but just work at it until you get it the way that you like it. Or you can just trim your ends if you feel that they're sticking out a little further than the loops. And there you go. I'll show you one more time. Pull all of the ends of your mesh tubing together. Then loosely pull out and measure at 28 inches. Put the pipe cleaner in first on my hand there, in between these 2 fingers. Then do a loop. Another loop, just like you would if you were doing a bow, but you're going to do it twice. Then you grab the bottom pipe cleaner and you pull it up to meet the top. Get that even. Then pull it all forward. If you need to move it to one side or the other a little bit to get it even, do that. Pinch and twist. And there's your little bundle. To attach your bundles to your wreath form, you're going to be attaching them to the 2 bars in the middle. Just take your pipe cleaners and feed it on either side. Pull it nice and tight to the back and give a twist to secure. Then I pull those pipe cleaners together, and then I push them back through so that they're coming up forward. That way it'll keep the back of your wreath looking nice and clean, and once you get your bundles in, you won't see those pipe cleaners from the front. Now between each section, and the section is between each crossbar, you will need to put 8 bundles. The entire wreath will take a total of 12 packages of deco mesh to fill. I think it looks really gorgeous. I love that method of mixing all of those colors together. I think it is so pretty. Now the final bundle out of the 4 packages, I seem to run short of one color. That's okay, just if that happens to you, whether it was the package or you're measuring, whatever, just use what you have. As long as it's only, the final bundle, it'll mix in fine and you won't even notice when you're done. And you can see on the back, it looks nice and clean and neat. Go ahead and set this aside. This is the sign that I've chosen to use on this project. I'm going to take it off the ribbon here and just pull it off, but be careful that you don't break your sign because they are stapled in there. Now to attach your sign, you're going to need some full-length pipe cleaners. You'll need 2 for the small sign and 2, maybe 3 for the larger sign. I'll start with the 2. To attach these, I'm just going to be using hot glue. Let your glue fully set up before you move forward. The glue is all set up on my signs, so we're going to place them now. I'm going to place my largest one first, and I want this just slightly off center so that I have room for this one on the other side. Have it down a little bit and this over. So this is about where I'm going to be placing my signs. I might move that a little bit better, just like that. Now to attach your signs, you want to take the pipe cleaners and then you separate the mesh and you work it all the way down to the wire frame in the back, and then you attach the pipe cleaners to the wire frame. I have my signs attached. I'm very happy with their placement. We're going to work on the bow now. This year, Dollar Tree actually is carrying St. Patrick's Day ribbon, 2.5 inches at 3 yards. This is the pattern that I've chosen. Now out of this roll of ribbon, you will need to cut 1 piece at 14 inches. This will be for the tails, and then for the bow, you need 1 piece at 18 inches, 1 piece at 16 inches, and 1 piece at 9 inches. You will also need 1 full-length pipe cleaner. On your ribbon that is 14 inches, you want to bring the ends together and then fold them together. We're going to dovetail them. And then I usually come about 1/2 inch to 3/4 at an angle down to the tip. That'll give you a nice dovetail. Now for our bow, you want to start with the 18-inch piece. You want to bring the 2 ends together and you want them to cover each other by about 1 inch, 1.5 inches. Find the center and push down. Take your 16-inch piece and do the same thing. Now this is the cut side that should be on the back. And you take your smaller piece with the cut side down and you put that on top. So you're going to have a double bow. And then this smaller piece is going to be your center little loop. So again, roll that around, have it come over itself by about 1 inch, and place that in the center. So just like that. Okay, so we have the main part of our bow stacked. Now you're going to take the tails and you're going to put that on the back. You just want to make sure that that's in the center. Okay. Then here at the center, you're going to take that and scrunch it in the back. Take a pipe cleaner, put it right through the center. Pull that to the back. Kind of push everything forward so I can get a nice tight grip. I want to pinch in the center and then give it a good twist. And you can pull down your tails. Pull them forward. And then open up your loops. You have 2 loops on either side and your center loop. You're going to pull the smaller loop that's on the top up and the larger loop down. And then just play with your bow until you're happy with it and it's fluffed the way that you want. And that's approximately what your bow should look like. Now I'm going to place my bow right here on the side to kind of fill in this space. And just like the sign, you take your pipe cleaners and you feed it in between the mesh and attach it to the bar in the back. Now if you don't want your bow to sink down into your mesh, just take it and give it a good twist till you have about 3 inches of twisted pipe cleaner. This way it won't pull down inside the mesh and you'll still be able to get it nice and snug on the bar. Okay. I got my bow on. I'm really happy with that. Now the final items that I'm going to be adding to the wreath, I have this package of 6 shamrock picks. I thought those were really pretty and would be perfect, especially since we have a nice big shamrock here. And then I have some gold coins left over that I'm going to be using. And these I'm just simply going to be gluing onto the mesh. And same thing with the picks. I'm probably going to be cutting them nice and short, adding a little bit of glue and then sticking them in. And there you go, we are all done. I think it came out absolutely adorable. I got all of my shamrocks and my gold coins glued in. I thought they made the perfect final touch. For today's project, you're going to need one of the 12-inch willow wreaths that you can pick up from Dollar Tree. You will also need a stem of their gypso. It kind of looks like baby's breath. And then you'll also need 1 stem of their dark green shamrocks and 1 stem of their light green shamrock. Now to prepare these, you just want to pull the stems apart and push the greenery up to the top, and then leave a stem that's about 1 inch long. Go ahead and cut both your light and dark green down into individual stems. I have my shamrocks prepared. I'm going to be using my Surebonder glue pot today. Now the first thing you want to do is look at your wreath form and decide where you want your top and bottom. I've decided I want this to be my bottom. And I'm going to start with the light shamrocks. And I'm just going to take the ends and dip it into the glue. And then work on feeding it into the wreath here. I'm going to use the wreath to help hold my greenery. So whatever I do to this side, I will do to this side so that it stays even. It doesn't have to be absolutely perfect on both sides, just relatively similar so that you don't, so it looks even. And I'm just going to mix between the light and the dark green and kind of work my way from the center out. Okay, so I have 1 stem of each. So I'm going to cut this down so I have a couple pieces. This is the sign that I picked up from Party City. I thought it was absolutely adorable. This came out of their St. Patrick's Day selection. Now this is regularly priced $9.99. It was on sale for 40% off, so I did get it for $6. It came with this jute cord stapled on the back. So I removed that and then just hot glued a pipe cleaner onto the back. I wanted to make sure that was fully set up. So I did that before. And this guy is going to go right here in the center. And all I'm going to do is take this and wrap it right around my wreath base here and secure it. That way later, if I want to take it off and maybe use it on another project, I can. And then just kind of tuck in those ends so that you can get to them if you ever decide you want to take it off and use it on another project. Okay. But now that's nice and secure. So now I'm going to take these individual pieces and glue right around the sign to kind of fill in the areas that it needs. Feel free to adjust your florals however you need. Open them up. Remember, they're fake. You can bend the heads to face the direction you want. Pull what you want forward, push what you don't in the back. Just try to kind of get a mix of the light and the green together. And then fill in with the individuals in any holes that you find or you need a little bit more greenery. I have all my greenery in. I'm very happy with that. Now we're going to add some of this gypso. I don't want to use the greenery. I just want the little flowers. So I'm going to break this down. The flowers come in 2 bunches and they slide off just like that. So you get 3 little clumps in each bunch. Now this is how I'm going to be attaching it. So pull it together. Add your hot glue. And then just kind of open up and snuggle it in to the willow wreath. Just like that. And I'm going to add a couple of these on either side. There you go. I have all of my florals in. I think it looks absolutely gorgeous. I am very happy with the end result. Here on the back, I did string through the willow wreath a piece of jute cord and tied it off. I did glue down that knot so that I can't see it from the front, but this is what I'm going to use to hang it. And there you go. That is so quick and easy. Now, if you don't have a Party City near you or you can't find this sign, Dollar Tree this year also has this. And this cauldron here is a 3-dimensional piece. So you could pop this out and then take the cauldron off and use this in place of the little hat here. For today's project, you're going to need one of these clover wreath forms that you can pick up at Dollar Tree. You're also going to need several packages of the decorative nautical rope. Now they have several different kinds and several different widths to choose from. The one that I found is 9.5 feet and it is relatively slender. I do have 6 packages. I'm hoping that it's only going to take about 4, but I wanted to make sure I didn't run out. I will let you know at the end how many I used. We're going to wrap right around the 2 bars here, all the way around the inside of this wreath. I think that will look very pretty, and then we're going to add all our ribbon on the outside. So to get started, open up your rope. I want to start right here above the stem where the crossbar is. So I'm going to turn it over so I can glue it to the back. And I'm just going to use the bar right here to help me. Get my first piece on here. The rope is also taped at the end, so you want to leave that on. That will help it not fray at the end and come apart on you while you're working on it. For your convenience, in the description box below is a detailed list of all the tools and materials I used to make this St. Patrick's Day wreath. Okay, so I am gluing it all the way around the center here where the crossbar is. That's how I'm going to initially attach my rope. And then I'm going to slowly work my way and just loop it around these 2 inner bars. My glue has set up and it's fully secure now. So I'm just going to start wrapping it. Anytime there's a curve or a bend, you can use a little dab of hot glue to help it from sliding and to make sure that it lays in the correct position. You just want to take your time with this and get it to lay down properly. Now you can use whatever rope you have. You just want to make sure that it's pliable enough that you can bend it to get it where you want. If it's too stiff, it'll be very difficult for you to get a nice tight wrap. Now every once in a while, you're going to need to wrap just 1 bar instead of both of them. And that'll be whenever you come around curves. And also coming off a bend here. So this next one, I'm just going to wrap around the top bar. And then the next one I'll wrap around both. If you enjoy hauls, crafts, and learning new craft techniques, please consider subscribing to my channel. I do upload new content every week. And if you hit the notification bell, YouTube will let you know every time I upload new content. And like I said, use glue to keep it nice and tight.
through this area, I can just wrap singly. And then once I get to the bar here, I'll wrap around twice and then wrap around the outer bar once and then both and the outer bar. I'll show you that once I get to that point. But for here, you just need to continue to wrap it around. I have the straight section done. I think it looks really nice. Now I have hit the curve and I have started to do a single wrap around just this center bar right here, and then wrap around this bar and this inner bar. So I just wrapped around both of the bars, so this time I'm going to wrap around just the inner bar, the one that's in the middle. This will help me to get an even coverage around the curve. Okay, see, so I just wrapped this inner bar, and now I'll wrap both bars. But you see it fills in. If you try to wrap both bars all the way around, you'll get a lot of bunching under here and it won't lay smooth. So that's why you need to do both bars, the center bar, both bars, the center bar, both bars, the center bar, all the way around the curve. When they start lining up straight again, you can wrap both bars continually until you hit another curve. I have the center 2 wires on my frame fully wrapped with the rope. Now it took 5 packages of the 9.5 feet rope to wrap the center. I do have a good amount of the 5th package left over. After 4 packages, I had about that much space I still needed to cover. So you will need 5 packages at 9.5 feet of rope to cover the center of your clover. We are going to work on the ribbon now. I have chosen this really pretty ribbon that I found at Dollar Tree. It has a faux burlap background, some bright green trim, and then light and dark clovers on it. I thought it was very festive. And then I also found this one, which is a solid dark green. It is sheer. And both of the rolls are their standard 2.5 inches at 9 feet or 3 yards. You want to cut your ribbon at 6 inches, both the patterned and the plain. And then you also want to dovetail them. To dovetail, simply fold it in half the long way and then fold it in half again. And then I usually start about a 1/2 inch up in the center and cut down to the point. That gives me a very nice even dovetail on both ends. You'll want to do that to both of your ribbon. We're going to start with our pattern ribbon today. This is how we're going to be folding our ribbon. It's very simple. You take your ribbon, you scrunch it into the center, pinch, and then you bring both sides up so that they're even, just like that. And then I add just a teeny bit of hot glue right in the center of the fold to hold it together. And then that way you can also fluff and open up your ribbon a little bit more. So it looks like that. On your frame, you'll want to turn it over to the back. We're going to be attaching these on the back. Now you want to make sure that the nice side of your ribbon is facing down, since we're gluing this onto the back. And I'm going to start here in the center, and I'm going to work my way around. So on the front of the ribbon, the nice side, add a small amount of hot glue, and then you're going to glue it right to the back of your rope. So again, on the front, at the base where it's folded, Add a small amount of hot glue. And then evenly place it around the base here, but you're going to glue it to the back of the rope. You want to make sure that glue fully sets up. See, when you turn it over, you'll be able to see it. Once the glue is set up, then you can pull it through where the rope is and the outer bar. You just grab that ribbon and push it up through the 2 bars to pull it to the front. And then you can open up and fluff your ribbon. So they need to be close enough that you fill in and that it will cover this outer bar. Okay? But your first goal is to get them glued onto the back, get that glue set up, and then pull them forward so that you can see them. I have all my clover ribbon on. I'm very happy with the result. Now here on the back you can see that I glued it right onto the rope. I pulled it through where the rope wrapped wire is and the outer wire. That way in the front you don't see that outer wire. So I'm really happy with that. I'm now starting to attach the light green. And this one we're going to be attaching to the outer wire, and we're going to be attaching it in a different manner. So you just take your piece, you want to slip it under that outer wire, pull it together so that you get it even, scrunch it together, and then right on the wire add a small amount of hot glue. And then pull them together and pull them down in the direction you want them to go. Be very careful. This ribbon is very sheer, so the hot glue does come right through, so you only need a small amount to keep it attached to the wire. I'll show you one more time. Take your ribbon, slide it underneath that outer bar, pull the 2 ends together to find the middle. Pull it together and kind of scrunch it. And then right on the bar, add a small amount of hot glue. And then pull them back together and down in the direction. Doesn't that look pretty? So you have your rope, you have your pattern, and then you have your solid green. I'm going to go ahead and finish adding all of my solid green, and then we'll come back and work on the stem. I have all of my green ribbon on. I'm really happy with the result. Now I'm going to go ahead and do the stem here, and I've decided that I'm going to wrap it in the rope. Now I'm going to start here at the bottom, and I'm going to glue the rope on the back here, but right on this bottom wire. I'm just going to kind of lay it on top of the rope and then add my hot glue. You want to get this first piece nice and secure before you move forward. Let that glue fully set up. Otherwise, you'll have problems wrapping your stem. I'm wrapping the stem around, and I found it's much easier if you also not only add some glue to the metal frame, but that you glue it to the rope below it. So just run a light bead of glue all the way down, put your rope down, and then push it into the glue. You do have to hold it there for a little bit until it sets, but you'll get a nice finish. And as long as you don't add too much glue, the glue won't seep through. I have my stem fully wrapped, and I'm very happy with how my base turned out. Now this is the back. I didn't go all the way up, but I went far enough up that the ribbon in the front covers the top of the stem. So to recap, it took 5 packages of the rope to wrap the inside and to do the stem. Each package was 9.5 feet in length. It took 4 rolls of the patterned ribbon and 5 rolls of the green ribbon to go around the outside and to do the bow. Now you need to decide how you want to hang it. I decided that I want it to hang a little off center where the stem is at the bottom. So right here across from the stem at an angle, I added a piece of pipe cleaner in a loop. This is what I'm going to use to hang it. And I did glue ribbon on either side of it so you can't see it from the front. Go ahead and set this aside. When cutting your ribbon, you will want to measure out a piece of the clover ribbon at 13 inches. You want to cut this first and set it aside. This is going to be for the bow. And you will need a piece of the green ribbon cut at 30 inches. Cut both of these pieces first before you start cutting your 6-inch pieces of ribbon. We're going to work on our bow now. You're going to need a pipe cleaner and then the 2 pieces of ribbon, your pattern ribbon that is cut at 13 inches, and then the green ribbon which is cut at 30 inches. Fold your pattern ribbon in half. And then fold it in half the other way. From the inside, cut out. I usually only come up about 1/2 inch. Go to the other side and do the same thing. Just make sure everything is lined up. Come down about 1/2 inch and cut to the point. That'll give you 2 pieces of ribbon. Set that aside. Take your other piece, fold that in half, find the center. Then you want to take one side, bring it to the center, and make a loop. Then take the other side, bring it to the back and make a loop. You want them about the same size, not too big. Usually fold it up and see if they're even. Okay. Scrunch it down in the center. And pinch. And then take one of the patterns, scrunch that down in the center. Place that on top. Do the same thing with the other. Take your pipe cleaner and wrap it around the center and pull it to the back. I always push everything down so I can get a good grip. Pinch right at the base and give a good twist. Okay. Leave the pipe cleaners on. That's what you're going to use to attach it. Then open it up. Take your pattern ribbon, split them. So one goes one way, the other tail goes the other. Same thing on the other side. Open them up so you can see what's there. And pull your other green tails down. Just grab where they come out, pinch and twist to pull them in the direction you want them to go. I like to hold right in the center as I work with my bow. And then open up the green. So you want the tails to pull to either side and the green loop in the center. So that's how it's going to look. Now I'm going to trim the ends here and dovetail them. Simply fold them together. You can pull both of them together if you want to make sure your tails are all the same length. There you go. Set that aside. Now we're going to make a jute cord bow. And I'm just going to use the width of my hand. So I place the end down and hold it with my thumb there, and then just lightly start to wrap around my forefingers. I kind of open up my fingers if I want it a little bit larger. Wrap it around about 10 times and then have it end on the opposite side. Take it off and pinch it in the center. Cut another piece, I don't know, 6 inches. Wrap that around the center. You want to wrap each side around a couple times and then tie it nice and tight in the middle. So it looks like that. And you just kind of separate those loops a little bit. And you want to do that again. Loosely wrap. But this time you're going to grab the center. You're going to tie it just one side. Okay? And then across from where you tied it, you're going to cut it. Then this piece you're going to tie to the back of your bow. These are going to be your tails. And just adjust it a little bit. You want to make sure that's in the back so you don't see it from the front. Once you get that in place, just add a little bit of hot glue to the back there to make sure everything stays where it's supposed to be, because you don't want to see that bundle of the tails from the front. Just want to see the bottom there. So it looks like that. Very cute. So we're going to take our twine bow and we're going to attach this right on top. So we have a 3-layered bow. So right over where the pipe cleaner is, add some hot glue and place your twine bow. So we're going to place the bow now. And I want to place my bow right about here. And I'm just going to take my pipe cleaners and I'm going to wrap it around the rope area here and tie it off in the back. I think that looks cute. I think the bow looks absolutely adorable and suits this wreath perfectly. I'm really happy with the way that looks, but I have one more thing that I want to add for that perfect final touch. You will need 2 shamrocks out of this package of 6. They come on a skewer like this. You will want to cut 2 of the stems shorter so that you have about 4 to 5 inches of stem. And then you're going to add hot glue and we're going to place it back behind the bow. You can either stick it into parts of the bow or stick it in behind and glue it onto the rope. So just add a small amount of hot glue onto the end. And there you go, we are all done. Well, I'm very pleased with the end result for this wreath.
For today's project, we're going to be using one of the long signs that you can find in the St. Patrick's Day section at Dollar Tree. You can use any of the long signs that you like for this project. You're also going to need some plastic canvas. Now you can pick this up at Walmart. You can pick it up at any of the large craft stores. It's usually over in the embroidery or fabric section. Now you want to cut a piece that's long enough to fit your sign on one side, and it needs to be 3 inches wide. And for this sign is 23 inches in length and 5.5 inches in width. Remove any kind of stickers or anything like that off of the back. You can leave the hanger. We're going to be using that to hang our project when we're finished. Now we're going to be attaching the plastic canvas over on one side, and it's up to you. You can put it on either side, and you want to glue down at least 1 inch of the plastic canvas, and we're going to do that with a combination of Aleene's Original Tacky Glue and hot glue. You're going to want to let this sit and set up for about 30 minutes before you move forward. You're going to need 3 rolls of deco mesh. Now these 2 rolls came out of the St. Patrick's Day section, and this one came out of the regular floral garden. You're also going to need some pipe cleaners cut in half. For this wreath, we're going to be doing the poof method. So you want to take the ends of each of your rolls and scrunch them together. And pull them all side by side. Now normally when you see the poof method done or the bubble method, I've seen it called both, you usually use 1 roll of either 10-inch or 21-inch mesh. This was my solution to use multiple rolls when using a 6-inch or Dollar Tree deco mesh. And I do like this method because you're not cutting the mesh, so you have very little to no fraying when using Dollar Tree mesh. Okay, so if you have extra long ends there with your deco mesh, just trim those. You only want to leave about 1 inch. So I have all 3 of my rolls together. Now I'm going to separate these out off my desk so they don't tangle together as I work with this. Okay, now we're going to want to hide our ends since we can't tuck it around to the back. Or actually, yes, let's do that. Let's tuck them around to the back actually. So I'm going to come in from the back with my pipe cleaner here, and I'm going to get this attached. So I'm going to give it a good twist, and then I'm going to push my ends back to the back of the wreath. And then once you've pulled it back through to the back, you want to go and twist it back over the ends. These need to be very secure. You don't want them to come loose while you're working on it. Twist down and tuck your ends. That way that mess is sure to be in the back and you won't see it. Now you want to grab all of your mesh and pull it loosely. You want to start to measure from where we attached it. We're going to be measuring our poofs today at 8 inches. So measure 8 inches. Pinch your mesh together. Add a pipe cleaner. Give it a couple twists, and then you're going to push it through the holes. Now we're going to work our way all the way down this side to the end. Come down, I'd say probably about an inch. You just want to make sure that you've got about 2 holes in between your pipe cleaners. If you just do a single side by side, you can break the plastic canvas. We don't want that. Give a good twist and trim your pipe cleaners and fold them down. And then just keep going. I have all my mesh attached and I'm very happy, and that took the 3 rolls of deco mesh. Now I did have to play with my placement a little bit on the back. I ended up doing my first one close to the board, and then I moved over here and ran down the outer side of the plastic canvas. And what I did was I stepped out a little bit, then I stepped in a little bit, stepped out a little bit, step in, back and forth as I worked my way down, and I went at about 1 inch to 1.5 inches spacing. And let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There are 22 poofs, and that took up all 3 of the rolls as I did them together. So I'm really happy with that. Once I get everything attached, later we'll come back and cover that with a piece of felt, just because this has a lot of scratchy ends and I don't want it to scratch anybody's door. But I'm really pleased with that. You can still read the sign very well. You have a nice base here to add a lot of embellishments. So I pulled this package out. You can pick it up at Dollar Tree. It comes with 4 clovers that are rainbow striped, or 4 clovers that are light and dark green striped. And since we have this beautiful rainbow, we're going to be using the 4 rainbows. You can save these for another project. You're also going to need a couple of the black cauldrons. Now this comes in a package of, I believe, 6. You're only going to need 2. And then you're also going to need some of the gold coins. 1 package should be sufficient. So we're going to start here with our little cauldrons. Now I picked these up. They're just little pom-poms. They come in a large package of like 18. I found them in the Easter section. I'm going to be using these, but you can also just use paper or like newspaper just to fill in the bottom so you don't have to put in so many coins. So just stuff 2 in there or whatever you're going to use. You're not going to see it once you get the coins in. And then I'm just going to glue in a bunch of coins to fill in the top here. Isn't that cute? You will need 2 pots of gold for your project. To 3 of my rainbow clovers here, I've gone ahead and glued a full-length pipe cleaner onto the back of them. I'm going to need those to attach it to the wreath form. But on my 4th one here, I'm going to be attaching it here to the board, and I'm just going to hot glue that on. I like that so much with the rainbow, and the others when they go down here on the deco mesh are going to look absolutely gorgeous. I did get both of my pots of gold done. It looks like my glue has set up so we can attach these now. So what you want to do is pull your pipe cleaners together, and then you want to twist them for about an inch. This will help keep your clover sitting up on top, and it'll still give you plenty of pipe cleaner to attach it to the plastic canvas. So that far is sufficient. Just out of the way. So I want to place one of my clovers down here. I'm going to place one in the middle and then one a little off to the side at the top. And to place those, I'm just going to move the mesh over and feed my pipe cleaners down and attach it to the plastic canvas in the back. Once you get its placement and you're happy with it, then go ahead and tighten it down, trim and fold down your ends. I have all my rainbow shamrocks on, and I'm really happy with how they look with the sign. Now I'm ready to add my pots of gold, and I want to put one here, and I want this one to angle this way. And then I'm going to place my other one up here, and I want it to angle that way. And then I'm going to place coins on the mesh coming down into the pots of gold. Now, to attach the pots of gold, I'm going to be using a combination of Aleene's Original Tacky Glue and hot glue. I love that. I'm really happy with that. Next, I'm going to add my coins, and I'm just going to add a few kind of falling down and going into the pots of gold here and then here. And then I may add one or two elsewhere if it looks like it needs it. And again, I'm going to use a combination of the Aleene's Tacky Original Glue and hot glue. I really like this glue, especially if you're going to put anything outside. It takes a full 24 hours to set up, but once it does, it is weather resistant. So nothing's going to fall off if it's outside and it gets cold, hot, rain. I love this glue. I have all my coins on, so I kind of started at the top, kind of came around down and dumped into this one, and then again came down around and dumped into this one. And then it just looked plain down here, so I figured this can come down and kind of fall into the one that's on the sign. So I'm really happy with that. Now there is one more thing I want to add as far as embellishments go, and it's a package of their shamrock picks. You get 6 of them, and I think 6 will probably be perfect for this. And they do come on really long picks. So the picks are really long. You just need to decide, you know, if you want it to stick out away from the wreath, you want to leave it a little bit longer. If you just kind of want to nestle it in, then you just want to keep it nice and short. So I usually leave mine a couple inches unless I know I want it to stick out a little further. And then to attach it, you just add a little bit of hot glue, and then you nestle that in to the deco mesh so that it'll sit there. If you don't get it nestled in, it won't glue in real well, and then it may come out at a later time, which is not what you want. I like that. I think it adds that little bit more of sparkle that the wreath needed. I'm going to fill in with my shamrocks, and then when I come back, we'll tidy up the back of the wreath. And there you go. I have all of my embellishments glued in, and I am so happy with the end result. It is such a bright and happy St. Patrick's Day wreath. Now here on the back, we're going to cover up all these pipe cleaners. I don't want any sharp edges on the back. I have this nice thick craft felt. Now you don't want to use thin felt for this. You need good craft felt. I've had this in my stash for a very long time. And all you need to do is cut a piece that will cover over the back of that plastic canvas. And as you can see, that's nice and thick. I love this felt. And then just do one end, get it glued down first, and then slowly work your way down and get it all glued down all the way around the edges. And this is plastic canvas, so the hot glue can go through the canvas and drip down onto your table, so you want to make sure that you put something underneath, or that you're very cautious with the amount that you're using. And there you go, we are complete. I am so happy with the end result. All of the embellishments came together exactly as I had hoped they would on this beautiful St. Patrick's Day swag. To get started on our project, you will need a 14-inch wreath form that you can pick up at Dollar Tree. This one happens to be a gold tone, but it doesn't matter what color it is. You're also going to need some full-length pipe cleaners. Today we're going to be using the poly burlap mesh. I picked this up at Hobby Lobby, and this is 10 inches at 10 yards. And this is a really pretty bright orange. Let's set up our wreath form. Now we're going to set this up like you would a working wreath form, but we're going to skip a section. So I'm going to show you. Let's say we're going to skip this section right here, and a section is between the two crossbars. So the section next to the one that we're going to skip, you want to place a pipe cleaner or chenille stem in the middle on the outer two rings. Give a couple twists. And anything on the outside I pull to the outside, anything on the inside I pull to the inside as I attach. Then on the next crossbar you will add two pipe cleaners, one on the outer two rings and one on the inner two rings. If you're enjoying today's content, make sure to subscribe, and when the notification bell pops up, if you hit that too, YouTube will let you know every time I upload new content. And I do upload new content to my channel every week. I have 13 pipe cleaners attached, and here is my section that we skipped. So we have an entire section that did not get any pipe cleaners. We're going to be applying something else in this area, so we don't need any mesh here. You want to cut your mesh into strips at 10 inches. I prefer to use a rotary cutter. It gives me a really nice clean cut. And I picked this one up from Dollar Tree, and it works very well. You will need 2 to 3 pieces per bundle. We're going to be doing the curl method. The curl method is very easy. Just start on one side and slowly roll to the other. You want a nice big fat roll, but you should get a good 1.5 to 2 rolls. And then you can either use a clip to hold it. I like to use my Bowdabbra. I just kind of scrunch it here in the center and place it with the cut side down. I really love this color. It's so bright. Starting to attach it here to my wreath. Now the 2 pipe cleaners here that are closest to the open section, you only want to put 2 rolls. And then as you work your way around the outside, you'll do 2 rolls, 3 rolls, 2 rolls, 3 rolls. But on the inside, everyone will have 3 rolls. That way the inside is very thick and full, and that's what you want. So this is a 3 roll. I'm going to do that on the inside here. Just get it down there nice and snug, give a couple twists, trim your pipe cleaners, and tuck down your ends. Once you start getting everything on there, it'll be nice and full. Okay, so this is 2. This next one will have 3. And then this one will have 2, and this one will have 3. And all the ones on the inside will have 3. I have all of my mesh attached. Sorry, the color's a little bright for my camera, but I'm really happy. It is nice and full, exactly what I was looking for. Our gnome is going to need a nose. And I always like to use the styrofoam gnomes. Now this one's a little bit larger than what I normally use because my gnome is a little bit larger. And I picked this up from Dollar Tree. This is 2 pieces. It's 2.8 inches in diameter. You could probably even go a little larger with the nose if you chose to. Now because this is styrofoam, this doesn't paint very well. You can paint it, it will take it, but it looks very textured and I don't like that. So on this nose I'm using some trouser socks that I found at Dollar Tree. This is a very neutral color. It looks like skin. You can also use an old knee-high or nylon hose, anything like that. And just take your styrofoam ball and feed it inside. You don't want to go all the way down because that has stitching. Go close to the bottom here. Okay, and then this has stitching, so you don't want it all the way to the bottom. Take this end and stretch it with the other and then tie it off. And you want to make sure it's nice and smooth on the opposite side. Then you can trim off any excess. This is the side that you're going to be gluing and attaching down. So that's why you just need to make sure the other side looks nice and smooth. And then keep this piece for future gnome noses. You will need a St. Patrick's Day felt hat. This one I picked up at Party City. I know online it shows that Dollar Tree carries these and I guess some of their stores, but I never find them in mine, so I had to go to Party City. They had them. I think I paid like $4 or $5 for it. It is well made, it's nice and sturdy, and it's one size fits most. But it was exactly what I was looking for. Now to attach this to our wreath, you're going to need a couple pieces of floral wire. You need to cut them about 6 or 7 inches a piece. Now I want to place my hat here in my open space, and I want it to be slightly angled. Let me move out a little bit further here so you can get a better look. Okay, so I want it to be slightly angled. Now I have a little open space right here. I had one piece of the mesh left over. It was 16 inches, so I just cut it in half, so I had 2 curls because I thought I might need just a little bit to fill in, and I do. It'll be right here. And that's fine because I have that one little piece left. That will take care of that issue. So now I just need to decide where I want my hat and then where it meets my wreath. So you can see it meets it down here. So once you feel and find where it meets and you're happy with the placement, just take a pin and go down and give a little mark on the hat so you know where to come through. Find the other side. So I just put a little mark there. Now to attach my hat to my wreath form, once I have marked it where the hat meets the wreath form, you need a nice big fat needle and then push through the rim right next to the hat, like that. And then again about a ½ inch above that. And then you're going to feed your floral wire in and then twist it off. And that's what you're going to use in your 2 spots here to attach it to your wreath form. Then just give it a couple twists so it doesn't pull back through. And now you can attach it to your wreath form. My hat is on, it's fully secure. I took the 2 pieces I had and added it right here to fill in. So I'm really happy with that. Now I just need to glue in my nose. And I want to put it right here so it's slightly under the hat, but you can see it really well. Go ahead and add a large amount of hot glue. Make sure he doesn't go anywhere. And then nestle him in so that he is glued to that mesh. I'm also going to add a little bit at the top of the nose here so that the hat is glued down. And here you go, we are all done. I'm very pleased with the end result. I told you it was simple and easy to make. What an adorable St. Patrick's Day gnome wreath.
My inspiration to make this wreath came from having these 2 pieces left over from the sign. I had used the center section on my St. Patrick's Day swag. I will attach that tutorial at the end of this one. But that was my inspiration to make this wreath. To get started, you're going to need 2 rolls of the green deco mesh, 1 roll of white, and 1 roll of black. You're also going to need one of the 8-inch wreath forms that you can pick up from Dollar Tree and some pipe cleaners that have been cut in half. You're going to want to cut your mesh at 20 inches. The method that we're going to be using today is called the Cruffle method or the Woodland Ruffle method. I've heard it called both. So you have your piece of 20-inch mesh. You're going to need a small clip and half a pipe cleaner. Go ahead and open up your mesh. You want to start at one end and do about 3 or 4 rolls up. Then pinch it in the middle and clip it with your clip. Turn it around. You're going to grab the other end and you're going to do the same thing. You're going to do a couple rolls, 3 to 4. Then grab in the center and scrunch right up the middle till you get to the other end. Pull it together, remove that clip and pinch everything in the center. Take your pipe cleaner and wrap it around. You want to pull it to the back, make sure it's even. Pinch right at the base and twist. And that is what your little cruffle will look like. Now this method is really good to use with the Dollar Tree deco mesh because the Dollar Tree mesh does tend to fray, and this method does help hide those ends in the curled ends. So I do like this method for using Dollar Tree deco mesh. Once you're completed, you'll still want to go back and clean up the wreath. So to attach it to your wreath form, you're going to be attaching it to the 2 bars on the outside. And each section, which is between the 2 crossbars, you will need 9 to 10 bundles. And it's very simple. You just take your pipe cleaners, you wrap it around those 2 bars on the outside, pull to the back, twist. Give it a 1 or 2 good twists. And then I take the ends and pull them together. And I push my ends back forward. Now once this gets full, you're not going to see those at all. But that keeps your back looking nice and clean. And the pattern that I'm going to do is I'm going to do a green. And I'm going to do a black. Another green. And then a white. And then repeat. Now this will make the wreath really nice and full. My base is all done. As you can see on the back here, I only attached it to the 2 bars on the outside. Now when this wreath is completed, it is approximately 13 inches in diameter. If you needed a wreath that was a little smaller than that, you can always go and just attach it to the 2 bars on the inside. You'll probably use 1 to 2 less bundles per section. And then your wreath should be a good 1 to 1.5 inches smaller. I'm really happy with that. I love the color combination. I think it's absolutely gorgeous. Now I also had some dark green mesh tubing left over. And I had a package of the gold, so I decided to add some of this to my wreath as well. Now I cut each piece at about 36 inches in length. So you're going to take 2 pieces. Start with the ends just out on one hand, and then you're just going to kind of do like a bow and go back and forth. You just want to make sure that the ends end up on the opposite side from where they started. If one comes out way too long, just trim it. Then take a pipe cleaner, wrap that around the center, pull it tight and twist. And see how pretty that bundle is? just a little something extra to add more texture and color. Now I had enough to make 4 of these, of the dark green mesh. I also use this on the swag. So I'm trying to use up my little leftovers on this wreath. We're going to go ahead and make some ribbon bundles now. I have this 2.5-inch wired edge ribbon. I picked this up from Craft Outlet. This is the only item that does not come from Dollar Tree. I absolutely love it. You get quite a bit. I believe this was about $6 or $7, and you get 10 yards. I'm also going to use a black glittered ribbon. This is 5/8 of an inch. This actually came out of the Halloween section. If you don't have this or you can't find it, you can always use just a solid black. And then this is a satin ribbon, and this is a really pretty gold. And this is also a 5/8 of an inch, and I believe they currently have this out for this season. You want to go ahead and measure each of your ribbon and cut them at 9 inches. On my small ribbon, I just like to cut an angle at the end. And on my larger ribbon, I like to dovetail. And then each bundle, you'll put the 2-inch and then the smaller ribbons on top. Find your center, pinch it together, wrap your pipe cleaner, pinch and twist. And then go ahead and open up. And that is what your bundle will look like, and you need to make 4. Now you're going to need some gold coins and one of the little black cauldrons. I've gone ahead and stuffed the inside with some paper towels. This is just so I don't have to put as many gold coins in the top. Then I'm going to go ahead and hot glue in some gold coins. You want to make sure that you fill in enough gold coins so that you don't see the white paper towel. I got all my gold coins glued in the top. Really happy with that. And I went ahead and took the rest of my gold coins and I glued either 2 or 3 together and then glued a pipe cleaner onto the back. Just like that. So I have 2 that have 3 coins. And I have 1 that has 2 coins. On the back here, I went ahead and attached half a pipe cleaner at one of the crossbars. Now that's going to be the top, and that is going to be where I'm going to hang it. So now we're going to start adding our goodies. I'm going to go ahead and add in my little deco mesh tubing bundles and my ribbon bundles. And you just simply move the mesh aside, go down, and take your pipe cleaners and attach it to one of the bars on the wreath form. Just pull it down, give it a couple twists, and then tuck in your ends. Okay. So you add both of them the same way. I'm going to go ahead and get in my little deco mesh tubing bundles and my ribbon bundles. I got all my bundles in, my deco mesh and my ribbon bundles. I'm really happy with that. I did every other one. And then as I placed them and tied them onto the wreath form, I did some on the inner bar, some on the middle bar, and some on the outer bar. That way it mixes it up, because you don't want everything to be exactly in the middle. It will look funny that way. Next, I'm going to go ahead and attach my little feet and my hat. Okay, so this is the top of my wreath up here. So I want to attach my hat a little bit off to the side. And all I'm going to do is put some hot glue on the back here and glue it right directly onto the deco mesh. But I am going to kind of feed it into the mesh. Okay, so you just kind of have to hold it in place until that glue sets. Then I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing. I'm going to glue the feet on down here, and I'm going to kind of work it into the mesh that'll be attached like that. Okay. So I got my hat and my little feet on, and I did add glue on both sides, the front and the back. And then I push the mesh down to make sure that it is fully glued. You're also going to need a package of shamrocks. There are 6 pieces in this, and they come on a stick. So I'm going to go ahead and add those, and I'm going to go ahead and add my coins. And I'm also going to add my little pot of gold here. To attach the pot of gold, I'm going to go ahead and hot glue a pipe cleaner onto the back. You just need to decide which one you want facing forward. Just be careful, if your hot glue is really hot, you might melt the plastic cauldron. So just be aware of that. You want that to fully set up before we attach. Got the coins in, and I got my little pot of gold. And now I'm adding the final touch, which are my little shamrocks. You want to go ahead and cut the base. You want to leave about 1.5 inches to 2 inches. You just add glue to the stem. And then place it in wherever you would like in your wreath. You just want to make sure that it's the right direction. So this is the top, so you want to make sure that they're all facing up. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to put my last of my shamrocks in, and then I'll come back and show you the final product. And there you go, we're all done. I'm really happy with the end result. I think it came out absolutely adorable. I did add all 6 of my shamrocks. I think they were the perfect finishing touch for this wreath. You're going to need a wood yardstick. Now I picked this up from Lowe's. It was $1, I think it was 98 cents. And then you're going to need some black paint. I'm going to be using Apple Barrel black acrylic. If you have spray paint, you can use that, just anything black. And I'm going to go ahead and paint my yardstick both sides. You'll want to grab some sandpaper and just do a quick sand over it. This will help the paint stick, and you'll get better coverage first time over. I have my yardstick all painted all the way around. I did go ahead and drill a hole. It's about 1.5 inches down. That's what I'm going to use to hang it once I complete it. Now you're going to need a package of chenille stems or pipe cleaners. Okay, so you want to start at one end. Take those pipe cleaners, wrap them around the back, pull them to the front, and give them a twist. Okay. Down at the other end, you want to do the same thing. Come down about an inch. Wrap it around from the back and give it a twist. And leave those pipe cleaners standing up. So you should have a total of 9 pipe cleaners. And you should have all of those facing up. Now you're going to go back, and each place where you have 1 pipe cleaner, you're going to add 2 more. But this time you're going to face those pipe cleaners out to each side. So pull it out to the side and give it a twist. Then wrap the other one to the other side and give a twist. Each section should have 1 pipe cleaner that's up, 1 pipe cleaner to the left, and 1 pipe cleaner to the right. Okay? You're going to want to do that for each pipe cleaner you have on your yardstick. I have all my pipe cleaners on. So I have 9 areas where I have pipe cleaners, and each area has 3 pipe cleaners. To secure it even further, I went ahead and put a little hot glue on either side of the center pipe cleaner. I pushed the 3 together, and then I also pushed down. So that way they won't slide while I'm working on them. At this end, where I drilled my hole, I fed through a full-length pipe cleaner, twisted the ends together, fed the ends so that they were in the hole, and then twisted it right at the top. Then I hit hot glue right here so that that's not going to move. Now this is what I'm going to use when I hang up my swag. You're also going to need 4 of these styrofoam shamrocks that you can pick up from Dollar Tree. They come with a little green hanger right here at the top. So what I did is I pulled that out. Now to fill that hole, you can either use a green marker, some green paint, or what I like to use is their glitter glue. Now I found a glitter glue green that matches, and so I just fill the hole with the glitter glue and let that dry, and then it helps it blend in so you don't see that hole. So you will need 4 of these, and you will need to remove the tags and fill the holes on 4 of them. You're going to need a roll of white deco mesh and a roll of green deco mesh. Okay, so that's about 12 inches. You have both of them open up like that. You have the ends secured. Okay, so you're going to place it right in here. The top pipe cleaner, the one in the center. So just give 1 twist to secure it. So it looks like that. Then you're going to grab both of the deco mesh and you're going to measure out and measure at 12 inches. Then you're going to grab it at 12 inches. You're going to place it in the center of the next clump of pipe cleaners and give it a twist. Okay. And then open up your poof. So you want to keep doing that and hit each of the center pipe cleaners all the way down till you get to the end. Then we're going to go to the side and we're going to do the same thing, coming up and attaching it to the side pipe cleaners. Once you get to the top, then you're going to go to the other side and go all the way down to the bottom. When you get to the very bottom, then you're going to do another loop like you did in the beginning and attach that in the center. I've gone all the way down my center. Now when you open up your poofs, you just want to alternate as you work your way down. So green pulled on this side, white on this side, then on the next one, white on this side and green on this side. And just keep alternating. That way your color will be mixed nicely all the way through. Then once you get down to the end here, all you're going to do is measure mesh out. Down through the center for the poofs, we measured at 12 inches. For the poofs along both sides, we're going to measure at 10 inches. So just simply grab your mesh, measure at 10 inches, pinch, and then pull to one side, whichever side you're going to go up on. Place it in your pipe cleaners and twist. And then once you get down one side, go back and fluff out your poofs and do the same thing. Just alternate which side you pull each color on. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and go up this side and then back down the other. I got all my deco mesh on. Now I'm adding some dark green tubing. And when you pull the tubing out of the package, it comes in a loop like this. So I'm just taking, and I'm using that basic same size. And I just do one bow, so I have an end on this side and an end on the other. Then I just pinch that in the middle. And then go into each pipe cleaner, place it down, twist the pipe cleaner till you get it nice and tight. Give it a couple twists. Cut off your excess pipe cleaner. And then push down the ends of the pipe cleaner. Add one of those at all three sections all the way down. And that is our base. You're going to need some of the gold coins from Dollar Tree, and you're also going to need some full-length pipe cleaners. When your glue is dry, just pull your pipe cleaners up. That's how you're going to be attaching it to the swag. And we're going to be using the pipe cleaners to attach it. Now I'm going to make my ribbon bundles. And I have these 3 ribbons. I bought these a couple years ago, and I can't remember if I bought these from Craft Outlet or papermart.com. But I bought all 3 at the same time. So I have a green plaid, a lighter green. I really like the trim. It has some glitter, and then the 2 colors of shamrocks, and one is glittered. And this one with the dark green background and more shamrocks. All of these are 2.5 inches in width. You're going to need full length pipe cleaners. And then cut your ribbon, each of them at 9 inches in length. Now, if you like, you can go ahead and dovetail your ends. And just fold mine over and then do an angled cut. Now I'm going to layer it with the darkest in the back, and then the plaid, and then the lighter one on top. You'll need to make 9. All my bundles are made, and now I'm attaching the coins and my ribbon, and I wanted to show you how I'm doing that. On the coins, you want to pull the pipe cleaners to the back, and then you want to twist down about halfway, because you want those coins to sit up on top. So it looks like that. Now you're going to attach at every point all the way down the 9 points, but you're going to attach on the outside on this side, and then on the next one on the opposite side, and you're just going to go back and forth all the way down. And with the coins, you're going to attach it right where the bundle is, where you've been attaching the mesh and the mesh tubing. And cut off the excess and push those ends down. And then you can adjust your coins. You want them to stand up and be on top. Then on the other side, you're going to attach your ribbon. And this I'm going to attach and wrap those pipe cleaners around the yardstick in the back. And then fluff out your ribbon. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and attach the rest of my coin and the rest of my ribbon. I got all my ribbon bundles in and all my coins. I'm really happy with how it looks. I think it is absolutely gorgeous, nice and full, and very festive. Let's go ahead and set this aside for now. Next, you're going to need one of these signs that you can pick up from Dollar Tree. I think this is so cute, but we're only going to be using the center here that says Happy St. Patrick's Day. So just turn it over and then gently pull the pieces off. You'll want to remove as much of the sticker and paper in the back as you can. Now to attach this to our swag, I'm going to place 2 pipe cleaners on the back here. Go ahead and set that aside. You want that glue to fully set up. Now we're going to add our large shamrocks, and I have 4 of these. Now this is the top up here. This is where I have the hanger. And I'm going to place these just kind of on top. I'm going to change their angle. Here in the center, I'm going to place the sign. And then I'm going to do the other 2. So that's going to be my layout. Now to attach the foam shamrocks, you're going to need some floral wire. Now if you can find the silver floral wire at Dollar Tree, that's the best. This will pretty much disappear anything that you use it on. So I really do like the silver. I use this on most of my projects. You'll need to unravel a couple inches, I'd say probably 10 to 12 inches of floral wire. And I'm going to attach mine right here on this one. So I'm going to wrap that wire around that area and pull it to the back. I'm going to get it snug, but I'm not going to pull too tight because the wire will cut the foam if you pull it too tight. Give it a couple twists. And then you have your long ends. Now this is what I'm going to use to attach it to the swag. And if I can, I want to do that in 2 places. But I'm going to start down here, get that attached, and then see where the best place is to attach it up here. So the first one I'm going to place is up here at the top. You want to find your placing and go ahead and pull some stuff through, move some stuff out of the way so that that kind of fits in to the swag. Okay, and then just take those wires and feed it back and either attach it to a point where the deco mesh was tied down, or if you can tie it directly to the yardstick, that's even better. And then I'll probably attach it again on this side and feed it down from the other side. Okay, I'm going to get my shamrocks attached, and then here in the center I'm going to attach my sign, and I'm just going to use these pipe cleaners to feed down through the mesh and attach it directly to the yardstick. Okay, I got all my shamrocks attached and I got my sign on there. This is rather large. It measures about 3.5 to 4 feet in length. Now the back looks pretty clean. I just take the time whenever I tie anything on to tuck those ends back underneath. Same thing with the wire. And I'm really happy with how this turned out. I'm going to be hanging this next to my front door out front.
We're going to get started with the small 8-inch wreath form. Now these come in a package of 2 that you can pick up at Dollar Tree. You'll also need 2 packages of their dark green mesh. This comes 6 inches at 5 yards. And this is what I call Dollar Tree's Good Mesh. This comes out of their everyday box in the floral garden. You can tell also that it is vacuum sealed here. That tells you that this is the better mesh that Dollar Tree carries. You need 2 packages. You're going to be cutting your mesh into strips at 12 inches, and 2 packages should give you a total of 30. I have my mesh here cut in strips of 12 inches. I also have some pipe cleaners cut in half. We're going to be doing my folded ruffle method. I designed this back in May of 2020. I did it specifically to be used with Dollar Tree mesh because I hate it when mesh frays. So to do this method, you want to take it and fold the ends over themselves by about 1 inch so you have a tube. You push that down, and then like a standard ruffle, you grab it and you scrunch it up to the center, and then you grab the top and bring that down. Pinch right in the center. Take your pipe cleaner and wrap it around. Now all those cut ends are here at the top, so you want to make sure that you pull your pipe cleaners to that. That's going to be your back. You don't want that side to show. And then I pull everything forward so I can get a nice tight grip. Pinch and give a good twist. Then you can open it up, and I love these. I think they look like a cute little butterfly. So that's what your bundle's going to look like. I'll show you again. You have your strip cut at 12 inches. You lay the ends over themselves by about an inch. So you have a tube. Push down. Grab one end, scrunch up to the center. Grab the other end and scrunch down to the center. Pinch. Wrap your pipe cleaner around. Make sure you pull those pipe cleaners to the top where the cut ends are. Pinch and twist. And then just kind of open up your bundle. Now if you get one side that's a little bigger than the other, that's okay. Just kind of hold the center and then you can kind of pull it a little bit with the mesh to adjust if you need to. It doesn't have to be perfect, just relatively similar. I'm going to go ahead and make some bundles and then we'll get them attached to the wreath form. I have some bundles made, so we're going to start to attach it to our wreath form. And we're going to be attaching it to the center bar and the bar on the outside. I want this to be slightly larger. If I wanted it a little bit smaller, then I would do the center bar and the inner bar. Simply wrap your pipe cleaners around those two bars, give a good twist or two, pull it together, and then I always like to tuck my pipe cleaners back forward. Once you get your wreath full, you're not going to be able to see those, and it helps to keep the back nice and clean. So again, just put the pipe cleaners on either side of the two bars on the outside. Give a good twist or two. Then pull them together and tuck them down. Now as you move over your bundles, you want them to close like a butterfly, like this. Move over. And then when you go through and you kind of fluff them out, I usually will pull one a little towards the outside and one towards the inside. Until they start stacking together, that's kind of hard to do, so I just kind of fold them up and push them over. Now there are 3 sections on this wreath, and a section is between each of the crossbars. You will be placing 10 bundles in each section, and that will take exactly 2 rolls of Dollar Tree Deco Mesh. If you're not using Dollar Tree Deco Mesh, you want to look for something 6 inches at 10 yards to complete the base. I have the base all done and I'm really happy with it. I love this method because, as you can see, you get little to no fraying with this method on Dollar Tree Mesh. And it also gives a very textured yet smooth finish to your wreath base. Now to decorate our wreath, I found this adorable little leprechaun gnome at Dollar Tree. I had no idea that they were carrying these, and I did have to go to the largest store in my area to find them, but I think he's absolutely adorable. I found this one and I love his big hat. They also had another one that I picked up that has a tall pointy hat that is rainbow colored. But this is the one we're going to be using today. Now to clean him up a little bit, I tacked down this embellishment here in the front. I tacked down his hands because it was really loose. And then I also kind of folded and tacked down the back of the hat because I'm going to have him sitting in the center of the wreath. Now to accommodate him, we're also going to have a cute little pot here, and we're going to fill that with some gold coins. Now since I don't want to fill all the way down, I'm just going to stuff in. I have these cotton balls. You can pick up, you get like 18 in a package. You can also just crumple in paper or newspaper. And then I'm just going to hot glue a bunch of coins in here on the top. We're going to attach our embellishments now. I want my little leprechaun gnome here off on the side. He's going to be kicking back. next to his little pot of gold here. I think that's going to look really cute. Now I'm going to be hot gluing these in along with Aileen's original tacky glue. Now I really like this glue. Let me tell you, if you're going to put a wreath outside, you really want to include this. Once this fully sets up, which it takes a full 24 hours to, this is weather resistant. I tried it on a wreath that I put outside over the winter for Christmas, and it got full wind, rain, sleet. I mean, we had some major storms and nothing fell off those wreaths. It was amazing. Now, the only thing I haven't tried it in is snow. So if you live in a snowy area, let me know if it works in the snow as well. But I am really happy with this product when it comes to anything you're going to put outside. Now I have the sheet of paper under here because I'm hot gluing, and in case that hot glue drips down, it'll hit the paper and not my table. And I want him to kind of have his legs crossed here. So, oh, I think he looks really cute. And now we're going to put the little pot of gold next to him. Absolutely adorable. Now the last thing that I want to add are some more gold coins, and I'm just going to kind of place these all the way around. And here you go, we are all finished. I think he came out absolutely adorable. He is my lucky gnome leprechaun. I did add one of these little shamrocks. You can pick up the shamrocks in the bag here. They come 6 to a pack, and they come on a little pick. Just take the end, kind of go in circles, twist back and forth, and it'll come right off without causing any damage. And then I just glued it into place. I thought he needed a little clover there next to him. But he is so adorable. I am very happy with the end result.
You're going to need one of the long signs for St. Patrick's Day. They have this one that says Lucky. It has a 3-dimensional golden clover on it. They also have this one that says Welcome, and this has a galvanized clover on it. Today I'm going to use this one that says Lucky. Now on the back here on either end, we're going to be attaching one of the 8-inch wreath forms. So you get 2 in a pack, so you'll need 1 package. Now the side that is raised is the side that's going to be facing forward. To attach these, you want to take one of the crossbars and put that in the center. Lay it down on the back of the board. You want the top of the board to be approximately in the center of the ring. And then the other 2 crossbars are touching the board. Take a pencil and trace right where that center bar is, because it's the one that's touching the board. And then just mark where each of the crossbars are. Go ahead and do that for both ends of your board. Attach half a pipe cleaner to either corner of the end of your sign, and then on your arc you want to attach one in the center and one on either side close to where the crossbars are. This is what it should look like once you get all 5 of the pipe cleaners glued on. Each end should look like this. Once your glue is fully set up, then you can go ahead and attach your wreath form. Just place it down, wrap it around the center bar and the inner bar. Pull it down nice and tight. For the 3 pipe cleaners that you have on the arc, you want to attach them to the 2 bars in the middle. The ones here out on the outside, you want to wrap it completely around and attach it. And if you can attach one side to where the crossbars are, you'll be good. That way it won't slide. If you can do both, even better. That is nice and sturdy. Next, just trim off the excess pipe cleaner and tuck your ends down. So finish this one and then go ahead and attach your second one. You will need 2 rolls of black deco mesh, 2 in gold and 3 in green. You want to cut your deco mesh at 20 inches in length. We're going to be doing the Cruffle method or the woodland ruffle method. I've heard this called both. It's very simple and it's a good method to use with the Dollar Tree mesh. You take one end, go ahead and roll it forward. You want to roll it about 3 or 4 times. Then take a little clip and clip that roll, turn it around. Then you want to roll up the other end the same way. Grab the center and then scrunch the rest of the way up. Take the clip off and pinch it right in the middle. Take your pipe cleaner, wrap it around, pull it nice and tight, pinch at the base and twist. You get a little cruffle. If you have any little ends that stick out, just kind of twist and tuck them down. You don't want to see those because that's where you're going to get any fraying. I'll show you again. When you have the 8-inch wreath forms attached, they should be very snug. They should not slide or move. Run a string of jute cord through the same holes that the other one was, but longer. You want it to come up just past where the wreath form is. That's what you're going to use to hang it when you're completely done. From the front, this is what it should look like. Now we're going to start to attach the deco mesh. You're going to be attaching the deco mesh to the 2 bars on the outside. Just feed it on either side of the bar, pull it to the back, and give it a good twist. If you need to, you can trim your ends down. And then I just push mine forward. You'll want to fill that in as close to the sign as you can and go all the way around to the other side as well. Now my pattern is going to be green, gold, green, and then black. And then repeat. Doesn't that look pretty? I have 6 bundles in and I filled in the side. I'm now starting to work my way around. I think that looks so pretty and I love the color combination. I'm going to fill in the rest of my wreath both on the bottom and the top, and then I'll come back and we will finish decorating. Got all my deco mesh done. I'm really happy with how it turned out. I think it looks really nice and full. We're going to make some ribbon bundles. I'm going to be using these 2 ribbons that I picked up from craftoutlet.com. They're both 2.5 inches in diameter and wired edged. You want to cut your ribbon at 10 inches, and I'm going to stack them. Put the plaid in the back and then the shamrocks on top. Put a pipe cleaner in the middle. I always like to fold up to make sure I find my center. And then you just want to scrunch them in the middle. I usually kind of do one side and then the other and push that pipe cleaner to the back. Pull it nice and snug and then give it a twist. And you'll need about 6 or 7 of these ribbon bundles. To make the bow, you're going to need to cut 1 piece of each ribbon at 30 inches. We're going to stack these. So I fold it in half so I know where the center is. And then I go down about halfway and fold over. And then same thing with the other side, and then fold over. So it looks like that. I'm going to do the same thing with this one. Take a little clip and clip it to hold it. So I fold it in half to find the center, so then I hold the center. Then I go down about halfway and then bring that to the center. Then I go down about halfway on the other side and then bring that to the center so that they cross over. And I'm going to put this one on top of this one and then scrunch right down the center. Take a full length pipe cleaner and wrap it around. Pull it to the back and get it really nice and tight. Pinch and twist. Then you go ahead and dovetail your ends. You want to leave the pipe cleaner long. That's what you're going to use to attach it. And just kind of fluff your bow out a little bit. You can adjust it more once you get it on. But that's what it looks like. You're also going to need one of these little hats that you can find in the St. Patrick's Day section. You're also going to need a full-length pipe cleaner. I want to attach this to the top of the swag. So inside here, I'm going to go ahead and feed in the pipe cleaner. You see, I just went underneath this one. I'm going to go across. Okay, so I went in here, all the way across, and then out here. And that's what I'm going to use to attach it to my wreath. I want to attach the hat right up here, just slightly off center. I'm just going to take those pipe cleaners and I'm going to feed it down between the mesh until I get to the wreath form, and then I'm going to attach it to the wreath form. Okay, so there you go. I think that looks really cute. Next, I'm going to go ahead and place my bow, and I'm going to place that right on the opposite side of where I placed the hat, but I'm going to place it down just a little bit further into the mesh. And same thing, just take those pipe cleaners, feed them back down into the mesh, and attach it to the wreath form. Got my bow in. I'm really happy with that. Now I'm going to place in my ribbon bundles, and same thing, just feed it in through the mesh and attach it with the pipe cleaners to the wreath form. I have all my ribbon bundles in. I'm really happy. I did 4 on the bottom and 3 on top with the bow. You're going to need one of the small black cauldrons. I filled it with newspaper and then glued in some gold coins on top. I'm going to glue this right down here on the bottom in the middle. I'm also going to add some gold coins. Just going to glue it to the deco mesh and maybe a few on the side. And I'm also going to add some of these sparkly shamrocks on a stick. You get 6 in a pack. I just cut them down so that they have about 1.5 inches to a 2-inch skewer. And then just add some hot glue to the stick, and then you can feed it into the wreath wherever you would like. I am all done. I got all my coins, and I got my little pot of gold and my little clovers all on. I did go ahead and add a few coins onto the sign. I really am happy with how everything turned out.
In today's crafting adventure, I'm going to be using one of the Dollar Tree's new wreath rails, and this is the St. Patrick's Day truck. So this is what we're going to work on today. The first thing we want to do is get a good base coat here on our wreath rail. And the color I've chosen is this one, and let's see, it is Country Twill, and this is by Folk Art. It is a matte color. It is just basically your medium beige. I want a nice neutral color on the base, and then I'm going to go in and add some detail to the truck. My base coat is nice and dry. I'm happy with the color. Now I'm going to go in and add some detail. I'm going to start here with the tires, and I'm going to be using the Craft Wise chalkboard paint in black. The tires are done. Now I'm going to do a base coat here on my clover. I have this really pretty dark green. This is by Folk Art Multi-Surface Satin 2917 Classic Green. And then I'm going to mix in a little bit of the Spring Green by Apple Barrel. This is I'm going to use to do a little bit of highlighting. But the first thing is I want to get a good coat of the dark green over my base. So I have a good base coat on there, and my paint is still wet. So now, while it's still wet, I'm going to go in with a little bit of the lighter color. And I just kind of want to add a little bit of highlights of where I think they would be. And I'm just going to kind of blend it in. Just kind of tap over it so it blends right in. This way, as I'm tapping, it's blending in with the darker paint, so you don't look like you get little streaks. And it also adds more texture. I like that. It adds a lot more texture to that clover, having a little bit of that lighter green mixed in. And just by tapping the two when they're wet, you can get them to blend together and look really pretty. Now I'm going to let this dry before I move on to the next step. Now my paint is dry. I did end up going in with some silver paint, and I hit a little here for the bumper in the front and in the back, and then right here looked like a little grill to me, so I added a little bit of silver there as well. Everything is dry. Now I'm going to go in with a brown permanent Sharpie, and I want to add a little bit more detail to my truck. So here where the door is, just kind of estimate approximately where that door is. And there's a bumper back here, one in the front. I'm going to bring my stem down a little bit further so it looks like it's in the truck. Now the last thing I want to add before we start putting our mesh on is I'm going to add one of these clovers that I got off of a window cling for the St. Patrick's Day. I want to put it right here on the door. I really like that. I think that's the perfect size. And to attach it, I'm just going to be using some matte Mod Podge. Just going to lay a little bit down here where I want to place it. Okay, find your placing. And I'm going to put a little bit right over the top. Make sure I get all the ends down. Now, so that the rest of my sign has the same finish, I'm going to go over it with the Mod Podge. The truck anyway. I want it to have the same look. So I have a nice coat of Mod Podge over the truck. Now I need to let this fully dry, and then we can move forward and start adding our mesh and our other embellishments. You'll also need some decorative mesh. I have one roll of gold, white, green, and this is half a roll of the jute colored. This is 6 inches by 30. I picked that up, I believe, at Joann's or Hobby Lobby. The rest of these came from Dollar Tree. You want to cut your mesh into strips at 6 inches. We're going to be doing the curl method today. You'll also need some pipe cleaners cut in half. We're going to be making 2 different bundles today. Now both bundles will have a piece of the jute colored mesh and a piece of the dark green. And then I'm going to alternate between the white and the gold. These are pretty light in color, so I don't want too much of them in there, but I do want a little, so that's why I'm going to be alternating those 2 colors. And the curl method is relatively easy to do. I'm going to be using my Bowdabbra to help me hold my bundles. If you don't have a bow maker, you can also use a clip. So I have my piece of mesh cut at 6 inches. Start at one end and do a gentle roll. You don't want to go too small. I usually say about the size of a fat cigar or a quarter. If you try to roll it too tight, you'll have issues. What happens is here on the end, your inside will stick out a lot, and then you end up having a lot of fraying. And just wrap your pipe cleaner around, pull it to the back. I always like to pull everything down so I can get a nice tight grip. Pinch right at the base and give a good twist. Okay, that's what your bundle should look like. Then your other bundle, instead of the white, you'll use the gold. These are the 2 bundles you'll be making for the wreath. The Mod Podge is all dry. Now before we start adding our bundles, I want to put a hanger on. So you'll need a full-length pipe cleaner. We're going to attach it right here to this top rail. So wrap it around the rail, and you want to take the 2 ends and twist them a couple times. Like that. And then you take a short end, you wrap it around one of the long ones. You do that to both sides. Like that. Then I take that mess and I pull that down to the bottom. And then pull it together and give it a twist. Okay. This is the loop that you're going to use to hang your project. If you want to, you can also hit it with a little bit of hot glue so that it doesn't move. But I actually like that it can move back and forth. That way, if you need to adjust it to one side or the other a little bit so that it hangs straight, you can. Now we're going to add our bundles. And we're going to be adding our bundles to this middle rail and the bottom rail. If I need to, we can add maybe 1 or 2 at the very end, but we'll see how it fills in. You just take your pipe cleaners and you wrap it around the rail, pull it to the back and give a good twist. Then on this one I am going to trim down my pipe cleaners, and then I'm just going to fold them down so they lay nice and flat. And you just want to alternate between the 2 bundles. So you have the one with the gold and then one with white. One with gold, one with white. Once you get your bundle on there, just push it over. We'll see how many bundles it takes to fill in the rail. I have all my bundles of my mesh on my rail and I'm really happy with it. I like how it looks. So I attached 10 bundles to the center rail and then I attached 6 bundles to the bottom rail. So this only took a total of 16 bundles to do this rail, which I really like, and I like how thick and full it looks. We're going to do our bow now. I'm going to be using this ribbon. I think it's so cute. It has all these really cute little gnomes on it, and it has a faux burlap background. You will need to cut 3 strips at 12 inches of your ribbon. I have my 3 pieces of ribbon cut. You're also going to need a full-length pipe cleaner. On 2 pieces of your ribbon, you want to pull the ends together and cross them over each other by about an inch. Kind of find your center. And then I'm just going to add a couple drops of hot glue to keep it together. You want to do that to 2 of the 12-inch pieces of ribbon. And scrunch right down the center, pinch, scrunch down the center, place one on top of each other like that. Take your 3rd piece of ribbon and find the center, scrunch down the center and add that in the back. Then take your pipe cleaner and wrap it around the center. Pull it to the back, get it nice and snug, and give it a good twist. Quick and easy, cute little bow. Now for the center of our bow, to cover up our pipe cleaner, you want to cut a piece that's about 3 inches, and then you want to fold it in on itself so that it's only about a 1/2 inch, like that. And we're going to wrap that right around the center. I'm going to make that a little thinner. Add a little dab of hot glue to keep it all folded together. I like that better. Then I'm just going to wrap that right around the center. We're going to glue it down in the back here. Make sure that your pipe cleaners are open. Now doesn't that look adorable? Really cute, simple, easy bow. Now I will trim my tails once I get it on my rail. I have a better idea of how long I want to keep them once I get it placed. I want to place my bow here on this side. I'm thinking right about there. I think that's cute. I'm just going to use my pipe cleaners, and I'm going to feed it down through the deco mesh and attach it to the rail here in the back. So I kind of play with its placement, see how you like it. I think that looks good. And I like my tails about the length they are, so I'm just going to dovetail them. I think that's so adorable. Dollar Tree also got these really cute little gnome ornaments in, and they do come 2 to a pack. So this is how they come. All I did was cut the ribbon part off here at the top. I'm only going to be using one. But I really like him. I think he's really adorable, and he has all the right colors. He has that little bit of gold and then the dark green. Very cute. So I want to place him here kind of opposite from my bow. And I'm just going to hot glue him in. I think he's really cute. He's lightweight, so I shouldn't have any issues about him falling off. So once you get his placement, just add a good amount of hot glue and then nestle him down inside your mesh. Absolutely adorable. I'm also going to be adding some of these shamrock picks. They come in a package of 6. I absolutely love these. I use them all the time in centerpieces, table decor, and wreaths. You just need to decide where you want to place your picks, and depending on if you want them kind of sticking out or if you want them a little bit more nestled in will depend on how long you want to leave your stake. And then to attach these, you just want to add some hot glue and then get them nestled in the mesh. I'm going to get the rest of my picks glued in. And there you go. We are all finished. I'm very pleased with the end result. I think it came out absolutely adorable. I really like the embellishments that I used, and I love the color tones that I pulled out in the truck. Now this is a fun, easy, and budget-friendly craft. You can make this craft for about $10. Thank you so much for stopping by. I hope you enjoyed today's 10 wreath tutorials. I had so much fun pulling this together. If you made it all the way to the end, leave me a clover in the comment section below. And let me know which wreath was your favorite. If you enjoy craft tutorials and hauls, you're going to want to check out these other videos. Have a great day, take care of yourself, and I'll see you in the next video.